Thank you, Kennel. Welcome back from lunch. I'm the